Hello, everybody, and welcome to Highway of the Hidden. I'm your host, Polar Bear, and on today's episode, we have Zach. Zach, how you doing, man?
You doing, Neil?
I'm doing great. Just making it, just making it. So, you are a paranormal investigator, from what I could tell on TikTok. Turns out we follow each other, and I shot you a DM, and you responded. So, tell us, man, what got you into paranormal? What got you going into it?
Way back in high school, this was back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, it seems like. It was June 3rd, 2003. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I lived next to a cemetery in a little tiny village of like 300 or so people. I used to walk through the cemetery all the time. Was on that day, whatever reason, out of nowhere, I just felt like a push on my shoulder and I hit the ground out of nowhere. Got up, looked around, didn't see anything. Heard what sounded like footsteps running in the gravel away from me. I thought maybe I was like, kind of delirious because I was an athlete in school. I know I don't look it now, but um, and it was a very very hot day. The temperature was between like 85 and 90, which is kind of rare in Ohio for that time of year. But thought maybe I was just like delirious, dehydrated, whatever. Didn't any think anything of it. Got back down to the house, ripped my shirt off, and actually noticed a right hand print where I felt like a shove, burnt into my skin, like blistered
Oh,
red, everything. Um, as they say, the rest is history. I mean, I've investigated well over 350 locations in about 12 different states over the last
oh,
21 years.
wow.
So,
So, what's some of your favorite locations like that you've been to, or some of the more famous ones? Start with that.
um, I call the Ohio State Reformatory my home away from home. I've done
Mm.
almost like 50 overnights there. I think I'm at like 48 last time I checked. Um, Moundsville, Penn, I love. Places like that I've been to. I've been to Fairfield County, been to Madison Seminary, um, places like that. I stayed down in Texas, investigated the Driscoll when I was down there. Did a couple of quick EVP sessions in the Alamo whenever we went in, stuff like that. Um, been to St. Augustine, did some stuff there. So Savannah, all the big spots. There's a lot of spots that I can't disclose for privacy reasons. One of them is, but I will say two of them are related to Ohio-born presidents. So
Oh, wow. Have you ever experienced what is that famous place? I think they closed it. Did you ever do not experience, but did you ever go to like Bobby Mackey's or anything like that?
I drove by it a long, long time ago, but they were closed. I was just gonna go in like whenever they were open and everything, but they were closed whenever I was down there. It was whenever I did Sedumsville Rectory and what else did I do down there? Wasn't Waverly. Anyways, I think I was going to Octagon actually, but just kind of drove by and yeah.
Have you ever had anything like attach itself to you going to all these different places, or how do you protect yourself from things like that happening?
I've had a couple. Um they were both when my guard was down. One came from Ohio State Reformatory. Um this was back God 2009 or so. We had whenever the Franks box was very very first coming out, like the spare boxes and stuff. And we heard Dante's Inferno come through the spirit box as it was sweeping through, like abandon all hope ye shall enter. And we're all just like, oh, cool. Okay. So we just the rest of the night I just felt like really weird. Kept seeing like a shadow and everything, kind of checking me out the rest of the night. Um just started feeling weird on the way home. Actually blew a tire on the way home. Um Finally got home like 2 hours later. Keep in mind, I'm only like an hour or so away from Mansfield, but just really weird. End up doing like the salt and the sage and all that other stuff here in the house. Well, not this house, but where I was living at the time, and kind of, you know, took care of it that way. more recent one was last year from Madison Seminary. They have they've installed a Devil's Toy box. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is or not.
No, not really.
No, okay. So it is a 6 by 6 by 6 cube with mirrors on the ceiling. It's literally floor to ceiling mirrors on all the walls as well as the ceiling is for scrying purposes. Um,
Okay.
I got way, way, way too far into it. Like I needed help pulling myself back and out of it. And long story short, just felt weird for a week. I was kind of grumpy, kind of cranky, more so than usual.
Right.
But I literally went back the next Saturday and just dropped it back off and told it to stay there. And if it came home, then it wasn't going to like what I did. I was going to sage it and get rid of it and send it to wherever the hell heck it came from. Sorry.
Right.
Mm.
It's okay. You
But,
can cuss.
no, okay, don't tell me that. No, this will turn into a South Park
Eh,
episode in 2 seconds.
Hey, that's totally fine. Hey, we have at it on this one. We don't care.
Mm. But, uh, but yeah, I do have an object with an attachment to it. It sits here in my room. I actually don't
Mhm.
open the box whenever it's inside the house. I have opened it and investigated it. I'll send you a picture of it here whenever we're done with this. That way you can post it and everything. But it's a
Oh,
um,
nice.
post World War One, pre World War II clown doll. Just
Oh,
a second.
fine.
Take
Oh,
a look
wow.
box. You can kind of see him there where the weight is.
Yeah, you could see a little bit of it.
So a friend of mine, she had purchased it, didn't like it, gave her some vibes and everything. I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and take them. We met up. She actually drove about 45 minutes to where I live at like 9 o'clock at night just to get rid of this damn thing. Um,
Damn.
took possession of it, kept it in my car. I looked at this thing. I'm like, you're not going in my house. So I actually grabbed the lockbox, took it out to my car, put it in there in my car, brought it inside the box, and it's literally never been opened or anything. Here I have a sage stick and everything that's right next to it, and I keep a cross in front of it too. I don't know like what all's attached to it. Like it's not like anything like demonic or anything, but it's given like I've put a cat ball inside there and just left it in there overnight and just set it on my stand. And I've woken up a couple of times to the cat ball actually going off inside the lockbox with that thing in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So did you have you so when you investigated it, did you catch any like EVPs off of it or anything like going on besides the cat ball going haywire?
A lot of German responses again, that's where it came from. I don't
Oh,
I know very, very little German.
right.
Whenever we investigated Franklin Castle before they opened it up in Cleveland,
Mhm.
I actually had to have a translator out on my phone because we were getting spirit box responses in German. I'm
Oh,
not sure if
wow.
you're familiar with Franklin Castle or not, but it's the Hans
No, I'm
Tiedemann.
not.
Look it up. It's the Hans Tiedemann house.
Mhm.
Obviously German AF, but
Mhm.
yeah. So
That's pretty cool, man. And so do you collect a lot of haunted items or was that just the one that your friend just happened to give you?
no, I got some dolls here. There's one here that's kind of creepy. I don't think they're like on it or anything. They just look creepy, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta have it. So
Right, right. Gotta need it, gotta have it. So
yeah,
what was like your
this girl especially, she creeps me out.
oh yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
my grandma, she used to have a bunch of those the porcelain type dolls and they would sit in her room and when
yeah,
you go in her room it would just I just had to get out, especially after seeing Chucky as a kid. Yeah, no, I could never watch those kind of movies after that.
yeah.
Uh, did you have you ever had a run in with like a real because I know a lot of spirits will try to mimic a demon and then they're not actually demonic, they just mimic them, but like a real almost evil entity type?
To the see, I can't like say for sure, but the one that detached itself at OSR, I think, was definitely something. I don't want to say demonic, but it was definitely something close to the capabilities. I mean, again, I can't say demonic, but
Mhm.
it was definitely a strong entity. Um, there was an incident that I had at Prospect Place. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's here in Ohio too. Um,
Okay.
in the barn, there was a hunter who was hanged and killed way back in the day. So I was out there. I was investigating by myself. I had the spirit box roll, and I was streaming live on TikTok. Out of nowhere, I felt like something like trying to crawl into my ear, and quickly like did one of these kinds of things. Like if it was a bug, it would have like its guts and everything would have came out like all over my finger, trooped out of my ear and everything. Nothing came out, nothing was in there. And so right after that, through the spirit box came gonna get in you.
Oh
Like,
wow.
oh, okay. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So
I definitely don't blame you on that one. Man, that's wild. So Ohio has a lot of pretty haunted places then.
surprisingly, yeah. I mean, there's a lot, like just in this area where I live, like I'm in the Canton, Ohio area. We got quite a bit. Like there's a village that I run ghost walks and stuff in. Village has like 300 people. Like, but I can make a ghost walk if I absolutely wanted to. I'd done a ghost walk for Small Town Monsters. They've done like Beast of Bray Road, Minerva Monster, a couple other
Oh
things like
yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah,
I did a
I remember
ghost walk
them.
for them. I'm friends with their researcher, Heather. Um,
Mhm.
like I did like a 6 hour ghost walk for them just with all the history and everything that I know about the village and the area and stuff. So,
So when you go on investigations, are you by yourself or did you build a team?
I actually filmed 6 episodes for YouTube where I did them 100% solo.
Oh, okay. So you like to do the solo
Typically, yes.
overnight.
I
Yeah.
don't play well with others. Sometimes I'm kind of a
Yeah.
so, but
I-
I did like the episodes like if you kind of pay attention to them, they like tell kind of a story and everything. Like
Mhm.
the first episode was where I had my first experience. And then the last episode, which actually wasn't my favorite one that I filmed and did, the one my favorite one was the one I did at Fairfield County. But that's neither here nor there. Um up until that time, Madison Seminary had quite possibly my most intense experience that I've ever had where I had lost about 12 minutes of time and remember absolutely none of it.
Oh, wow.
But and so that was my last episode where I actually broke the solo rule and I actually had the attendant for the night, Shelly, she actually came into the building with me for a certain part of the episode and she actually hung out outside this person's room. So fun
That
times.
is, yeah. Yeah, I think I want to do a few investigations down in my part of Texas. They have a lot of it's built up now, but they had written some books about the ghosts. It's called Ghosts Along the Brazos, and they had written a book about all the ghosts. Some of the areas are built up, but some of them aren't. But I want to kind of do Brazoria County ghost area, like
Mm.
Britt Bailey, Ghosts of Santa Ana, and stuff like that, and just kind of do some investigations and just see what I can find. I started a YouTube page, so now that's why I put the podcast on there. But I want to also put videos on it and see, you know, see what's out there.
Yeah.
Filming wise, for sure. Because I know you could do like I always see on TikTok the different very haunted places in Texas and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I want to branch out more. And you said you've done some investigations in Texas. Where
Oh
at
yeah.
again?
Um, I stayed the night at the Driscoll there in Texas.
Mhm.
Just did some investigating and stuff. Nothing like ooh la la spectacular. Just kind of walked around with a K2 and a voice recorder and stuff. Didn't really get much of anything. But still, the building was beautiful, beautiful building. I did their ghost walk there too. Forget the name of it, but there was an old bar there that definitely gave off some weird vibes as well.
Yeah.
um, Walked in, we went through the Alamo. I was like really, really quick about it, but I did like a minute long EVP session in there. Actually got two responses in Spanish while I was in there.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's pretty cool.
um, Galveston, just like along the beach, just like, testing the waters, no pun intended, because, it was a beach. But I mean, just like, wonder if any spirits from the hurricane will come through or anything like that.
They have a school. I think it got wiped out here in the past hurricane, but I know it was known. You could look at it was Harby, Harby, not Harvey, but Harby. It had, I want to say during the storm, they had put bodies in it during the storm of the 1900s or whenever the big storm hit Galveston. And I had went to school with people, and they would tell stories like when they would do church lock-ins.
Mhm.
They would go to the bathroom and they would make them go two at a time because people would try to go to the bathroom and they would get locked in the bathroom. Like spirits and stuff would lock
Right.
them in the bathrooms. Yeah, and there was a lot of weird stuff that happened in that school, and they said it was very haunted. And now I guess it got wiped out. I think is what I read. I'm not really sure, but yeah, a lot of weird stuff happened over there because of that storm. But even the cemetery in Galveston, they say is very haunted too because they didn't have anywhere to put the bodies. They had just
Yeah.
they tried to dump them in the water and they came back. It was just a lot of people died at once.
So little known fact up here in Ohio, and I'm assuming a lot of the other northern states up here. Um, during the 1800s, caretakers actually used to live on site of cemeteries. So they would have like a special like room in their house. Um, if the this was before like heavy machinery and stuff. If the ground was too hard to dig a grave, they put the caskets in that room until the ground thawed out.
Oh wow!
So,
Oh wow! So you would just
yep.
be you could be. And how long are the winters up there? I know it's.
I mean, granted, anymore, like our winters have been very, very mild for Ohio standards.
Mhm.
Like we used to average about 50 to 60 inches of snow a winter, and we've been getting like 30 to 40.
Oh
It's been
wow!
very, very mild, but typically we used to see snow right around Halloween. The first snowflakes would start to fly, and all the way up through typically the end of March, early April. But I mean, anymore, like it's just December and January and early February is where we get all of our snow, and then poof, it's done.
So you could sit there for 6 months with a just casket, just some person in your house. That is crazy.
Hmm.
That is crazy. What's so the Ohio State Reformatory, I think I want to say I've seen videos of that on YouTube and stuff like that. Is that the one where the homeless guy had passed away in like the basement area? Or is that a different one?
That'd be a different one.
Okay. That's not you. How many are there? There's Ohio State and then there's Yorktown.
We have Licking County here in
Mhm.
Ohio. There's a West Virginia Penitentiary that's close by down in Moundsville. Eastern State out in Philly, which is on the other side of PA for me.
Okay.
Um, you might be thinking about Hillview Manor up in Newcastle,
Maybe that's what it is.
but he was a boiler attendant who
Maybe
um
that's what it
okay.
was.
Yeah, his name was Eli Sorry. He allegedly had became intoxicated, died of consumption outside. Well, he didn't die outside, but he was pretty much gone outside. They brought him in and just yeah. I believe that's
Okay,
how the
yeah, that's
story goes. But
yeah. I heard the story. It was on like Travel Channel or something, or maybe it was YouTube. I watched so many videos that you hear it all, and it's like because I watch all the ghost hunting shows on YouTube. I really try to stay away from the TV ones because they'll fake them, but
yeah.
try to get the raw and uncut on YouTube. Uh, have you been to Brushy Mountain? I heard that's a good one to
I have
investigate.
not. That is on my list. I'm a single dad of 2 kids. Like, I have this
Yeah.
full time. So if any of your viewers are single, hi. Um, but it's on my list. I've been to Old South, but that was before Brushy actually became a thing. So,
Okay. All right. What's so what would advice would you give someone if they were gonna just say, "Hey, I want to start doing this"? What would be your advice if they want to start investigating, like just right off the rip,
question everything.
question everything?
Yeah. Don't be one of those yahoos that's like, "Look, it's paranormal." No, that's a bug. Sorry. It's a bug. Um Stomach growls during an EVP session, or you have to rip one out and have some flatulence and you claim it's an EVP. Like, literally, question everything, mark every sound in your EVP sessions that you're doing, especially if you're sitting there quiet. Um, really just boils down to question everything, try to debunk it. I mean, I would say almost everything that is abnormal can be explained in some way, shape, or form, but it's this field where it's that little tiny percentage that isn't paranormal, where it's like, or where it is paranormal, and we're like, okay, what the hell is going on here?
Right.
So
What what would be some good like equipment, like good starter equipment for someone that wanted to get into it?
start basic. Cat balls, phone cameras, EVP recorders, K2 meters. Don't use the phone apps for God's sake. Just don't use phone apps.
What's that one they all use? The oh man, it's like
Oh,
$10.
that what is it? Well, there's Necrophonic, there's Ghost Fox,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
necrophonic.
Just
Stay away from it.
don't use those. My God.
I swear, every time they fire up necrophonic, they get a voice. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe it's." And then it's like every episode, I'm like, "Y'all are either really lucky, or something's up with the app."
Yeah,
Who are your?
it would take
Go ahead.
something very, very, very convincing for me to actually believe that any sort of phone apps actually caught something that is definitively paranormal.
So, how often do you have to investigate a place for you to actually start getting like signs that okay, this is what's going on for you to actually start seeing things or hearing things?
I try to hit each location, at least in the area, at least 3 times, genuinely.
Okay.
Um, because some of these places you can only do so much in a 6 to an 8-hour span, where you have to go back and figure out more and then follow up on, like, stuff that you caught after a review and everything, stuff like that. Like, to truly investigate one place, be like, "Ah, I didn't get shit, that place ain't haunted." Again, makes no sense to say that way.
Right. That's
Actually, that's how I was with Madison Seminary. I went there twice in 2010, 2011. Didn't get anything. That was before the current had owned it. Um, and then I heard who bought it. I'm like, oh, cool. I know this guy. Went back a couple of times and just started getting activity after activity. And I'm like, interesting. Okay. And then I just kept going back and going back. And I think I've been there like, God, 15 to 20 times probably. But, like, a lot of these places that I've gone to, like, so many times, they're very, very local to me. Like,
mm,
Ohio State Reformatory, it's an hour and 10 minutes down the road. Hillview Manor's an hour and 5 minutes up the road. West Virginia Penn's like an hour and a half down the road. Madison's hour and 45 away. Fairfield County's a couple hours. Like, a lot of these places are just a hop, skip, and a jump. Like, it doesn't take much to get to them.
West Virginia Penitentiary. I've heard a lot about that. What have you caught there? Like, I always heard that one's like real heavy. What's like your most scariest experience you've had there?
I'm not gonna like go into too far into detail because that place I love everyone to go in there with an open mind. But what I will say is go if anyone watching is gonna go there, mention Native Americans and watch the mood of
Uh-uh.
that place change.
Okay. It
Because
gets
Moundsville is named after it's named for the mound that's right across from the prison. And actually,
okay.
as they were building that prison, they were encountering bones and bodies and everything from the Adena. I believe it's the Adena tribe.
Okay. And so it gets a little lit in there when you mention that, huh?
Yes, very. Um, yeah,
That's pretty
fun
cool,
place.
man. Sounds like a fun place. Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, but like not everything that I've encountered is like negative or intense either. There's been these are just like the highlights. Keep in mind, I've done like over 300 in some locations. Like not
Yeah.
everything like boom pops off. Like oh yeah, I caught this here and this here. Got to keep in mind, like I've done some of these places so many times where I've gone and just sat for 10 hours with nothing.
Yeah. And I know some of that it's kind of trying to just go over the highlights, and
Yeah,
so well, let's talk about then, like, have you ever ran into like a happy ghost or like a yeah, I've never asked that question. Have you ever run into like a happy ghost? One that's like, hey man, how's it going?
there's a couple that I've came across. There's a couple at Hillview Manor. Their names are Lester and Jimmy. They were the jokesters of the building. Um, there are a couple of pretty fun ones. There's one at the Ohio State Reformatory. He likes to chill out on the fifth floor of East Block. He's another trickster. He likes to knock stuff out of your hands. He kicked a cat ball. Like he kicked the cat ball off the tier down to the floor before. So that was
Oh
kind of
wow,
funny. Just stuff like that. Um,
that's awesome.
there's another one there. He actually tends to ask for me by first and last name.
Oh
Like if I
wow.
haven't gone there for like if it's been a couple of years since I'd been there, he'll actually ask like, "Hey, where have you been?" And then one of the guys that's been there for forever will be like, "Hey, Zach, so and so's asking about you." And then I'm like, "God damn it, I gotta go then."
You're getting requested by the dead,
Yeah.
man. You're
Um,
highly requested.
but yeah, I mean, it's been a lot more positive than negative, honestly.
That's good though. I mean that's what I like to hear. That makes it awesome.
Yeah.
I mean everyone likes a good scary spooky story, but I mean hearing the positive ones are cool too. Because not every encounter has to be back against the wall screaming for your life, sprinting out of the building. Like I'm
Mhm.
never going back in there again. You know, I like that. So they have jokesters that you can be jokesters in the afterlife. You don't always have to be all creepy and scary.
Yeah. Like, oddly enough, a lot of the more, like, positive interactions with spirits have been in, like, the prisons, the asylums, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oddly, in church settings or religious settings, that's where they've captured more negativity than not.
Really?
Mhm.
So, so you see a lot of the videos on TikTok. How do you go from like, because I know you see a lot of the stuff. Um, how can you tell from someone who does this from your perspective? How do you tell what's fake and what's real? Like that, like if you see a video like that one where I know you probably seen it where that he walks in the church and there's that ghost looking nun lady. She turns and he just screams and then takes off running. How do you tell what's real and what's fake? Like, what do you choose to promote and what not to promote? If that makes sense.
Um, honestly, I just watch a lot of my favorites, like people that I've investigated with and stuff like that. Like I don't like put myself out there, like, do any sort of, like, self-promotion or anything. Like,
Mhm.
I was never in this to become popular, I just do it for fun, genuinely.
Right.
But,
Right.
like, the one in my eyes, I could be again, just an opinion, don't take this as a gospel or anything, but I genuinely feel like the ones who tend to overreact, who tend to dramatize, who tend to have to Basically, the ones who are capturing something seems like every 3 minutes makes you wonder. It's
Yeah.
the ones that'll sit there and investigate on a live for hour, 2 hours, and have like a couple of questionable experiences.
Mhm.
To me, that is how you can tell if someone's being genuine or disingenuine.
Right. Because you can't make the ghost do what you want. That's
Right.
what, and that's what I always thought was weird. Because back, and what's funny is like, and it's back to I had a encounter, and it was like random, and we were doing the ghost walk out in Fredericksburg,
Mm,
and the guy was like, "Well, do y'all want to go to the jail?" And we were like, "No, we're not gonna go to the jail." And he was like, "Okay, well, the jail's, known. That's where you're guaranteed to see something." We're like, "Nah, we're not gonna go." Well, so we ended the tour, and he was talking about all these different stores are haunted. One of them was haunted by a little kid, and I forgot how he died, but it was right around like Christmas time. And I shit you not, man, I turned around and I looked in the store, and that kid was fucking standing in the window, and I was like, "What?" And the whole tour, nobody seen it, and I like stopped right in my tracks. And it was like a split second he was there, and I seen him. He was like full apparition. He wasn't see through. He looked at me and then it's gone. And I
mm,
was like, wow. Yeah, it gives me chills. And I'm like, see, I didn't need to go to the jail. I didn't need to pay the extra $30. He was right there for free.
mm.
And that's what I was gonna bring that up earlier, but I was just like, man. And that's what my that was pretty much what my question was about. Like some of these people, like you said, they every 30 minutes they're seeing something like, oh man, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening.
Yeah,
And it's just for views and clicks, I think.
yeah,
I mean, I think they called out who was it? The plumbers, taps.
yeah.
What was their
Ghost
They
hunters.
caught him. They were like, yeah, they were like, hey, you're gonna run down here, and then you could see him, and he like loses his shoe, and they put it on national TV. His shoes
Mm,
flying off, and after that, they caught him. I was like, man, that's when I lost all faith in it. And I was like,
yeah.
damn, man.
I'm not gonna
Then
name
YouTube picked
drop.
up that for.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna name drop. There's two groups who used to have their own shows on TV. I
Mm,
think very, very highly of them. Like I've spoke with them outside of like investigations and stuff. Very, very, very wonderful, chill, down to earth people. Um,
mm,
they both used to be on the Travel Channel. They still do their own thing. Great people. Um, the one the one group is a group of guys, the other is a couple of guys and a female. You guys can
mm.
kind of put two and whoever's watching could put two and two together on that. But
Right.
the group of guys with the female, they have events all over the place. I went to one last year here in Ohio with them. Um, like they take breaks and everything during like the conventions and stuff. And my daughter and I, we were just sitting in the location and they came in. Like we'd already done our meet and greet and everything with them. And like they just came back up to us, started talking and everything. And I'm just thinking, y'all don't really have to be doing this. Like go decompress it. Like I'm thinking that in my head, but they just came, chilled, talked with my daughter, talked with me, and then they went right back out there and had another line of 50 people waiting for them. So,
Just waiting to meet him.
yeah,
That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome, though. I think you have a lot of balls, man, to go out there and visit these places. Do you ever run into like? And I think the biggest fear is people. Do you ever run into like homeless people or anything like that? Like crazies out there?
everything I do with permission.
Okay.
I don't do like the urbex or the trespassing or anything like that. Um,
Okay, good.
like all the cemeteries and stuff I investigate, I do have basically 24/7 access to them. Um, a lot of like some places that are ran by like historical societies and stuff, I give donations here and there to them to let me go in and investigate, help them like advertise and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool then. Yeah, I didn't even I know you get permission, so you don't but you don't have to like worry about nobody because some people They still be creeping in there. You've never ran into anything though like that?
Not yet.
Like when
Um,
not
there's
yet.
a couple there's a couple of places up in Cleveland where I did have my 9mm holstered and ready to go just in case, but
Yeah.
um
And and
yeah,
how long did you say you've been investigating for? 20
since
years, you said? 20
2003.
plus years? 2003.
Yep.
Oh wow.
I was just a kid
That's
in high
awesome,
school.
man.
Like,
And that started it. That started it
yep,
all.
being knocked on my
Yeah.
ass, literally.
Yeah. I think yeah, I've always wanted to do it, man. I wanted to try to do the ghost investigation thing, but I've never had the balls to go out there and do it, man. It's always kind of frightened me a little bit. So I'm like, I'd rather have people on tell me about it, and then
Mhm.
I can be like, okay, cool, you know. And
Gotcha.
I appreciate you DM me back, man.
Yeah,
It's
no problem.
I appreciate that, man. I really do. I'm glad you came on. Uh,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
oh yeah. Well, that's it for tonight, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
I'll reach out to you and after this episode's done and all that, and I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Yep, no problem. DM me like an email address or something. That way I can send you the picture of the toy in the box.
Yeah, I definitely will. And if you want to shout out your stuff, your YouTube or anything, go ahead, man.
Yeah, everything is Ghost Boy Paranormal or the Ghost Boy on TikTok. All of the vowels are numbers, so it's th3.gh0st.b0y. The same thing on YouTube. A lot of my YouTube stuff, again, singled out of two. I have enough archive stuff where I can probably put out like 7 or 8 new episodes. I just don't have the time to go through it.
Yeah,
Like I still have like camera footage and stuff from 2 years ago that I still haven't even gotten to yet.
it
So
just takes time. It
it
takes a
does.
lot of time.
So
But yeah, yeah, I'll send you my email right now as soon as we get off
okay.
here. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, brother.
Yep. You too. Have a good one. Take care.
You, you too. Bye bye.
Yep.
Well, that's it for tonight, everyone. If you'd like to be on the show, remember, shoot me an email. My email address is polarbearhoth@gmail.com. Also, you can reach out to me on the socials, TikTok and Instagram, polarbearhoth, or follow the new Facebook page, Highway of the Hidden.